one of them, how they started to form geometric shapes in the images, even though it was captured through a very precarious, planned but very precarious environment. We were able to capture these geometric objects to it. I thought was really phenomenal.
I think it's extraordinary. I mean, what a vision this fellow has. You know, he worked and worked and worked at his subject. So it's not this sort of universal bracket where you get a little of this and a little of that. He just really explored the subject, through the different seasons, different kinds of lighting, different conditions in the environment that he was working at, and just there's an extraordinary depth in the way that he took on the subject. It's really very sophisticated stuff. Well, it's remarkable how in each image you can see below the water, then you can see the surface of the water. So you see the objects, either floating leaves or ice crystals or whatever. So you actually see the surface, and then you see the reflection above. And so you're always seeing something in three different planes at the same time. And then if you look carefully, every one of the images is actually hung upside down. So it disorients you that way as well. So you're looking at, I guess the base image would be the trees that are reflected in the water. And in fact, what is upside down is the real image, which is then the surface of the water and what's going on underneath the water.
I really like it. It's amazing. I never seen anything like that. And even says it's reflected. I cannot believe it. It's so pretty. Yeah, it's his technique is all concentrate on reflection on the water, and he found all different ways to put it together. And he tells me it's his son. I cannot believe it. And very, very good. And I'm very pleased to be here to see that.
On a technical sense, one of the things I enjoy most about his is you can walk way away from these photos and see them across the room, and they still have tremendous impact. There's just something very vibrant about each and every one of them. It means a lot to me because while I can't recognize exactly maybe where they were taken, I know that it's Sligo Creek, and it just it resonates with me. Well, I think I'm really intrigued to how much variety there is in them. I mean, they are abstracts, but they become abstracts because of the fact that they're reflections and what he's actually ended up doing. But in terms of color and composition and a little bit more, some of them are more natural in that maybe they show a leaf or something that you can actually recognize, and you can recognize a specific tree and things like that. But then the colors may be quite different, say really nice rich browns that feel European, and then some things feel very pastel and vibrant, even Mexican, to say that. It's just there's just a lot of variety that I wouldn't expect from this kind of a collection. But the fact that you can, the nice thing about being in nature and in a place like Sligo is every time I go there, it looks a little bit different, but it always looks good to me. I can be there even, you're not supposed to be down there at night. Once in a while I'm there after dark, and you look up, maybe see the moon or see some stars, and that looks so different than it does, say, first thing in the morning or when it's high noon.
Yes, I like the first one in the exhibition, and one in the corner that reflects the green and the yellow contrast with the blue of the sky, and the water with those pebbles, which is beautiful. Also, the one that shows one of these that shows the undulation of the water waves, and it reflects like, instead of shots of the water, it looks like the pictures up to the sky in the trees, which is very interesting. It's very nice.
But this is such an interesting dimension in looking at the park through reflected water in the creek. And they're stunningly beautiful. Well, the use of the water reflection makes a very interesting composition in a study in color and contrast. And Pictures are kind of lively too as you look at them. Even though they're still shots, there's a lot of life in these pictures.
Well, I'm extremely impressed, and it is a stunning exhibit of a place that we live near, and looking at it from a different perspective. Well, we live on Hilltop Road, which parallels the creek. So we see the creek from our house, and we see it at different times of the year. Different seasons, make a difference. Just never have thought about what the trees and the plants look like reflect